We are here with Board 1 of the Seattle Sluggers, Grandmaster Varuzhan Akobian, one of only a few 2700s in the U.S. Chess League and the highest rated player in the Western Division. This is FM Mike Klein reporting for the USCL. Var, how you doing today?
Good, good, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing well. Where do we find you right now?
Sorry?
Well,
What?
where's your location right now?
Right now I'm in Seattle, actually.
Just got done wrapping up a big win in week 3. You guys won 3-1 over the Scorpions, and you won your first game of the year over I am Mackenzie Molnar. He had some really tenacious defense. What are your thoughts on the game?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was very pretty tenacious. I think basically the opening didn't go well for Molnar, and he just got into a really bad position. And I think I was just at some point winning, by around like move 40. I think I was just like winning pretty easily, and then he had like a minute, and I had like 7, 8 minutes. Somehow I just drained all my time and couldn't find a clear win. But there was a pretty simple win there, maybe even few wins. And then I, basically from winning position, it went to a big advantage. And the end game was, even though it was very, very unpleasant for him, I think the objective of the end game is probably losing also. So
Yeah, it might have been one of the first times all year that the light squared bishop actually beat the dark squared bishop. It was an opposite theme in your match. But, as the lower rated player and playing black, were you surprised that he went for such a dynamic opening and he wasn't just content with simple equality?
well, it's I think that's the line he plays. So I mean, it's not the first time he played Blumenfeld. So when I was preparing against him, I know that he plays this. So I look it up a little bit and I say, okay, I should play this, and we'll see. If he plays Blumenfeld, then we get into a position like this. But I think he got into a suspicious position. Queen G6 actually was definitely a bad move. Maybe Queen B6 is better.
Now, the Sluggers have a bevy of strong FMs in the team, but they're completely different with you in the lineup. Do you fly to Seattle just for the matches?
Absolutely.
And last year you were only able to play 3 games. I know you recently moved to Kansas. Do you think you'll be able to play more than 3 games this year?
I hope so. That's the plan. We'll see. Hopefully we just do well and make the playoffs, and I'll play. So I hope to play more, of course.
Well, you almost certainly are traveling the furthest of any USCL player this season. Can you talk about how did you originally get recruited by the Sluggers?
Well, basically the manager of the team, Eddie Chang, is a good friend of mine, and whenever I would come to Seattle before I started playing for the team, I would come here in the summer to teach in chess camps, and then I would stay with him, and we would talk about the possibility, and then I think it was in 2010 where the first year I played, and they decided they want me to play for the team, and before that there was Hikaru who was playing for them, so they always had a strong player on a board one. I think Hikaru played 2 years for them while he was living in Seattle area. So yeah, I just started playing for them, and I like Seattle a lot. It's one of my favorite cities in US, and I like spending time here and playing for the team.
Yeah, Hikaru always speaks about how much he loves Vancouver and Seattle. What do you like most about the city?
Uh, I like the city, not only the city, the suburbs. It's just very quiet, the nature, and it's very relaxing. It's like almost like a vacation when you come here.
Yeah, I'm sure it looks a lot different than the plains of Kansas.
Yeah.
Now, you have a ton of team experience. You've represented the U.S. national team at many Olympiads. Does that help you in the U.S. Chess League being so fluent with team events?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I always play well when I'm playing for a team, any team actually. My record is very good for team compositions. It started by winning medals for the Armenian team in a World Junior Championships, and with the U.S. team and the U.S. Chess League. I like to play in the team atmosphere and support each other and help the team to do well.
And are you able to help prepare some of your teammates?
Um, Sometimes, not that much, but sometimes if they have a question or something before the match, they can always ask me, and I can try to give them advice before the game, like what to do.
And you just got back from Istanbul last week, where you were a member of the national team competing in the Olympiad. You guys beat Russia, then lost a close match to China. Ended up fifth, and you went in as the fifth seed. Would you call that a success or a disappointment, or somewhere in between?
I think it's, I would call it a good performance. I wouldn't call it, definitely not a, bad result or disappointment, but, it's a disappointment in the sense that we didn't win a medal. We actually tied for fourth place with China, and, we were, on the tiebreak finished fifth. But basically, when you always finish so close to the top three places, you always feel, that you could have medal. So and that's the feeling I have at least. I'm pretty sure the other members also feel the same way that by beating Russia and playing a very solid tournament throughout the event, we feel like we definitely deserve to be on the podium, but unfortunately came a little bit short this time.
Well, you're the only U.S. Chess League player from that Olympiad team this season. What do you like most about team play?
Um, I I enjoy playing for the team, because it's you know like in Seattle, especially, I'm the leader of the team, so I like to, play on the board one. And when I'm playing, just, I think it just gives more confidence to the other players. Um, I like the team atmosphere when you're preparing together, like a the Olympiad, where we, spend the time together, everyone, and just preparing and, trying to support each other too well. It's a very good atmosphere, and it's just we always look forward to the next Olympiad.
Well, you had a recent bump in rating which allowed you to make the Olympiad team after being left off in 2010. And of course, you know all these strong young players like Hess, Robson, and Shanklin. And of course, Timur Gariev changing his affiliation. What are you going to have to do to make the team in Norway in 2014?
I just have to basically play well and increase my rating. I'm about 26, 25 right now FIDE, so I have to try. I think to make the team, you even for the reserve player should be around 25, 50, or 16 years. So definitely, I think that the bar is keep on getting higher, higher to qualify because we have so many strong and talented players, some very young players. So it's going to be a very strong competition for the last few spots on the Olympic team for Norway. So I think it's good for chess because it makes it more interesting and you know even if you don't make it for some reason, there's just you work really hard and it will pay off in other tournaments. So but I think it's good that it's more competitive, in my opinion.
Well, that's going to be tough gaining all those ELO points, but wish you well. Have you found any chess in Kansas yet?
No, no, I haven't spent much time there. I've only been there for like 4 or 5 days, but I'll be spending more time now when I get to go back. And yeah, I'll be close to a lot of the cities where the chess is. I'll be close to St. Louis and Chicago area, so I plan on visit those cities and maybe play some tournaments there.
Now, many people know you from back in 2007 when MTV featured you on their show True Life. Did MTV depict you correctly in that show?
I think overall was good. Yeah, overall description was good. Of course, some things I would have you know liked that not to be there and maybe do differently, but I have no control over that. So it was basically many few months of videotaping and just editing. They edited the way they wanted it, but I think it came out very good. I think it was good for the image of chess, and many people still recognize me on the streets and. Random people that they don't know anything about chess, they saw the show and still they still show this once in a while. So it was just, I think, very good that just to popularize chess.
Well, back to the Sluggers now. Tell us an interesting story about one of your teammates that we probably don't know.
Interesting story about my teammates. Well, I think we have uh, you know interesting story. I mean, I can't think of it right away, but I think we have some very good players on the team. And actually, one of my students, Roland Feng, who played yesterday on the board four, is a very young player, and he just became a master. And I think his game was very interesting. He played, at least for me, when his opponent had 2 punts on the seventh rank on e7 and f7, and then just somehow he couldn't mate him. He keep on going on h6 and g5 was kind of really amazing. G5 and g6 it was kind of interesting um, yesterday.
Well, I know in 2010 you won the Game of the Year for your win over the frequent teammate Yuri Shulman. Was that the best U.S. Chess League game you've ever played, or perhaps a different one?
Yeah, I think that was probably the best game I played because I haven't played that many games. So if I had to pick one, I think that was a good game. It was Yuri knows the line very well. In fact, we work on that line that I played against him together. It's just I had some new idea that I wanted to try, and he deviated. He went through a line that is considered a little bit bad and got into a bad position, but it was still very complicated. So I think, yeah, one of my, of course, that game won the game of the year prize. So definitely my best game so far in the league.
Well, you're probably one of the more international of the chess players in the U.S. Chess League. Where are your next tournaments that you have planned?
Uh, there are a few tournaments here. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to be playing in. I'm planning to go back to the West Coast, in December, and plan to play probably the North American Open in December. But I'll be playing the U.S. leagues and maybe some open tournaments. There are a few of them, so I'm still trying to decide which one to play into.
And what's the nicest country you've ever played chess in?
The nicest country, I there are a few places that I really like where I played, but probably one of the nicest was, United Arab Emirates that I played. It was a long time ago, but I played in open tournament there in 1999. I really liked it. So there are some tournaments there every year. So one of the years I'm thinking of maybe I should go back and revisit.
Well, after getting blanked 4-0 in week one, you guys have rebounded strongly. You're now in second place in the Western Division with 2 wins and 1 loss. The Sluggers missed the playoffs last year. How many wins do you think it'll take to make the playoffs this year?
Uh, I think probably about if you have 6 wins. So if you have 6 wins, I think you should probably qualify for the playoffs. I think it's much more closer this year because there are not that many no teams on perfect scores. So I think it's more balanced. So it's not that many teams are just, you can say, the heavy favorite in division.
Right. Even after 2 weeks, nobody was at 2-0, so a lot of parity this year. Now, it seems like one of the biggest ways to succeed in the league is to have an underrated junior. You said that Fang is one of your students. Is he the biggest underrated junior on your team?
He's definitely underrated. Um, probably yes on the team. But he's improving, and it's always when you have a young player who is working hard and trying to improve, it's always very dangerous for his opponents, because he knows the openings, and he's eager to play. Like yesterday, he defended very difficult position, but he defended, because I was worried that he might lose, and then it would be a little bit closer, But once he held, and it was pretty clear that we're gonna win the match.
Have you ever had one of your students beat you in an over-the-board game?
Uh, no, I don't think so.
Well, knock on wood, right? Well,
Yeah.
thanks for spending some time to talk with us, Varuzhan Akobian. We wish the Sluggers well, and we'll see if you guys can continue staying within in the playoff hunt. It's early in the season, but we'll see how things turn out. We want to thank our sponsors, PokerStars, Chess.com, and the ICC. Thanks, Var.